Have you always believed seafood is the healthiest thing on your plate? So did Linda. She's 67, active, eats clean, and thought she was doing everything right. But for months, she kept waking up with stiff fingers, sore knees, and low energy. Her doctor ran tests but couldn't find anything wrong. The surprising culprit, her favorite seafood dish. And she's not alone. Here's the truth. Nobody talks about some of the most common seafoods can quietly cause joint pain, spike your blood pressure, and drain your energy, especially after 60. And yet these same foods are everywhere, on menus, in the frozen aisle, even in senior-friendly diet plans. But if you're over 60, your body doesn't process food like it used to. What once felt fine can now trigger inflammation, strain your heart, or irritate your gut. The real problem? The seafood industry is massive, worth billions. And warning seniors about hidden risks, that's not good for sales. That's why most older adults have no idea that certain healthy-looking seafoods may actually be working against them. But here on Vital 365, we do things differently. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. You'll discover 4 seafoods to avoid if you're over 60, and 4 powerful alternatives that science says can help you feel stronger, move better, and support your joints, heart, and energy naturally. And I want to hear from you. What's your favorite seafood dish? Have you noticed any changes in how certain seafood makes you feel lately? Drop a comment, we read every single one. And if you're looking for real, science-backed health tips that respect your age, your body, and your time, hit that subscribe button and join the Vital 365 community. Now let's begin with the first seafood that looks clean on the plate. But inside your body, it may quietly fuel joint pain and raise your cholesterol. Squid. That tender, slightly chewy seafood that shows up in pastas, fried appetizers, or Mediterranean plates. It may seem light and elegant, but for older adults, it's surprisingly deceptive. Just 3 ounces of cooked squid contains nearly 200 milligrams of cholesterol. That's about 65% of your daily limit. And as we age, the liver slows down. It doesn't clear cholesterol as efficiently, which means more of it stays in your bloodstream, raising your risk of hardened arteries, heart disease, even stroke. In fact, older adults with high cholesterol intake are 43% more likely to show signs of arterial stiffness. But that's not all. Squid is also rich in purines, which your body breaks down into uric acid. And as kidney function naturally declines with age, uric acid builds up and often settles in your joints. That's what causes gout, a painful, burning form of arthritis that can strike without warning. Even just a few servings a week can raise your risk of joint inflammation. So if you've been eating squid thinking it's a lighter, cleaner seafood, especially for cholesterol or joints, it may actually be doing more harm than good. If you wake up with stiffness, swelling, or unexplained aches, your seafood choices could be playing a bigger role than you think. Let's talk about the second seafood that fooled even the most health-conscious eaters. Frank is 71. He switched to seafood after his doctor warned about his blood pressure. He started eating sushi bowls and seafood salads with imitation crab, thinking it was a smart, lighter choice. But 3 months later, his blood pressure spiked. He felt dizzy, tired after meals, and even had trouble concentrating. The healthy seafood he trusted wasn't even seafood at all. Imitation crab, also called surimi. This stuff is not crab. It's a paste made from leftover white fish, usually pollock mixed with starch, sugar, salt, and artificial flavorings. It's reshaped, dyed, and flavored to trick your eyes and taste buds. But here's the problem for older adults. Imitation crab digests fast like white bread. That means it spikes your blood sugar, then crashes it, leaving you feeling tired, foggy, or even shaky. If you have prediabetes, insulin resistance, or just get tired easily after eating, this could be why. One study in clinical nutrition found that seniors who ate imitation crab 3 times a week had 2.6 times higher insulin levels than those who didn't. That's a dangerous pattern most people don't see coming. And let's talk salt. Just one serving of imitation crab can pack over 700 milligrams of sodium before you even dip it in soy sauce or throw it into a salad. And with age, your kidneys don't filter salt as efficiently. That extra sodium, it sticks around. It raises blood pressure. It adds to water retention, bloating, and heart strain. Add in preservatives and MSG, and you've got a processed food cocktail that can cause headaches, gut issues, and swelling, all while delivering almost no true nutrients. It looks like seafood. It tastes a little like crab, but nutritionally, it's closer to a bag of chips than a piece of fish. If imitation crab is a regular part of your meals, it might be time to reconsider, especially if you're noticing energy dips, bloating, or your blood pressure creeping up. Now let's move on to a seafood that seems elegant, fancy, even luxurious. But hidden inside those soft golden bites could be toxic metals your body can't process, especially after 60. Scallops. Let's talk about scallops. Helen, 68, always thought she was making a smart choice. When eating out, she'd skip the steak and order scallops grilled, lightly seasoned, served with veggies. It's clean, she thought. It's healthy. But after a routine checkup, her doctor noticed elevated protein in her urine and early signs of kidney strain. What she didn't know was this: scallops, despite looking clean and gentle, can quietly load your body with heavy metals, especially cadmium, a toxic substance that builds up in the ocean and inside the scallop's tissue as they filter water. Unlike bacteria or dirt, cadmium doesn't wash off. It doesn't cook out either. When you eat scallops, it enters your body, and if your kidneys are already slowing down with age, it tends to stay. A 2022 study showed that even modest portions of scallops can contain up to 1.8 micrograms of cadmium per gram. For older adults, just a few servings can exceed weekly safety limits, raising the risk of kidney damage, blood pressure issues, and protein loss through urine. Worse, cadmium damage is silent. You won't feel it until it's too late. And scallops aren't just high in hidden toxins, they're also low in omega-3s, the healthy fats that support brain health, joints, and heart function. 100 grams of scallops offer only about 30 milligrams of EPA, DHA. That's nothing compared to oily fish like salmon, which can provide over 500 milligrams in the same serving. So if you're eating scallops hoping for brain or heart benefits, you're not getting much at all. If you've been dealing with subtle fatigue, mild swelling, or creeping blood pressure, it may be time to take a closer look at how often scallops show up on your plate. Now, let's talk about the one seafood that's everywhere. It's in stir-fries, soups, frozen dinners, even heart-healthy meal kits. It's small, pink, and looks innocent. But for older adults, it may be one of the most deceptive foods of all. Shrimp. Joe, 73, loved shrimp. Ate it 3-4 times a week. It's lean protein, he'd say. But over time, his joints grew stiffer. His digestion became unpredictable. And he started feeling more and more wiped out after meals. Here's what was happening inside Joe's body, and what may be happening in yours too. Just one small handful of shrimp, 3 ounces, packs about 180 milligrams of cholesterol. That's already more than half your daily limit if you're over 60. And remember, your liver slows with age. Arteries stiffen. That means dietary cholesterol builds up faster, raising your risk of heart disease and stroke. One major study found that seniors who consumed more than 300 milligrams of dietary cholesterol a day had a 35% higher risk of stroke and 24% higher risk of heart disease. But shrimp has more going on. It contains a protein called tropomyosin, one of the most common triggers for shellfish allergies. And here's the kicker: many people develop shellfish allergies later in life, even after decades of eating them. A study showed that 14% of seniors who experience a shellfish allergy develop it after age 65. These reactions can include skin rashes, digestive upset, or even serious respiratory symptoms. And then there's chitin, the hard, outer shell. Even after cleaning, small traces often remain in the meat. For seniors with slower digestion, This indigestible fiber can cause bloating, gas, or inflammation. But perhaps most concerning, farm-raised shrimp, which makes up the majority of shrimp sold in stores, is often treated with antibiotics banned in the U.S. A 2022 study found that over 40% of imported shrimp tested positive for antibiotic residues. Long-term exposure can disrupt your gut microbiome and even contribute to antibiotic resistance. So if you're eating shrimp regularly and you've noticed joint stiffness, fatigue, or gut issues, it might be time to rethink your plate. Now that we've uncovered the worst offenders, let's flip the script. It's time to talk about 4 marine superfoods that can help you feel stronger, move better, and age with less pain. We'll start with the most unexpected one of all, a sea creature that looks strange, but has helped thousands of older adults regain comfort and flexibility. Say cucumber. It might sound odd, but for many older adults, it's become a game changer. Sea cucumber isn't a plant. It's a soft marine animal that's been used for generations in traditional healing. And today, science is starting to back it up. What makes it so powerful? It's naturally rich in collagen-like proteins and chondroitin sulfate, 2 key compounds your body needs to rebuild cartilage, keep skin elastic, and strengthen connective tissue. The same nutrients you'll find in pricey joint supplements. But here they come in a natural food-based form your body can absorb more easily. In a clinical study, seniors who took sea cucumber extract daily saw a 35% drop in joint pain and a clear improvement in flexibility after just 12 weeks without relying on over-the-counter pain meds. It also contains triterpene glycosides, which help reduce inflammation at the root, not just mask the pain. Traditionally, sea cucumber is soaked, then slowly simmered in herbal soups or broths. The texture is soft, a little chewy, and surprisingly soothing. Some say it even feels healing going down. If you're tired of waking up stiff or having trouble getting comfortable at night, this might be the natural relief you've been looking for. Now let's talk about another under-the-radar gem: green-lipped mussels. They come from the clean waters of New Zealand, and unlike other shellfish, they contain a rare omega-3 called ETA. Why is that special? Because ETA targets and blocks an enzyme called 5-lipoxygenase, a major trigger for joint inflammation. That means green-lipped mussels don't just reduce pain, they go after the cause. In a 2020 trial, seniors who took green-lipped mussel extract daily saw a 42% drop in joint discomfort and a 35% improvement in physical function from walking and standing to climbing stairs. But that's not all. These mussels are packed with zinc, selenium, iodine, and iron nutrients that support your immune system, thyroid energy, and memory, all of which become harder to maintain with age. Want to try them? Gently steam with garlic and lemon. Avoid overcooking, they're delicate, and too much heat destroys the very compounds that make them powerful. Next, let's talk about something more familiar but far more potent than most people realize: oysters. Just 2 medium oysters provide over 100% of your daily zinc needs, which is critical for immune strength, wound healing, brain function, and even restoring your sense of taste. But here's the catch: as we age, we absorb less zinc even if we eat the same amount. That's why nearly 40% of seniors are zinc deficient and don't even know it. Oysters are also high in vitamin B12, which helps your nerves fire properly and keeps your energy up. Just 3 ounces give you more B12 than a full steak without the heaviness. They're also rich in selenium, great for thyroid health, and copper, which helps with collagen production, bone strength, and red blood cell formation. In one European study, seniors with higher copper intake had an 18% lower risk of bone fractures over 5 years. So if you've been noticing brittle nails, thinning hair, or slower healing, your body might be asking for the very minerals oysters provide naturally. And if you're not a fan of seafood taste, don't worry, because the most powerful ocean superfood of all isn't seafood. It's a plant: sea moss. also called Irish moss. This ocean-grown plant is one of the most complete natural sources of nutrition you can eat. It contains over 90 trace minerals including magnesium, potassium, sulfur, selenium, and iron. These are the building blocks your body needs to thrive as you age. But what makes sea moss different is how gentle and supportive it is. It works across multiple systems, joints, skin digestion, and even your lungs. It doesn't contain collagen, but it's packed with vitamin C, proline, and sulfur nutrients that help your body create its own collagen. That means smoother skin, stronger joints, faster healing, and even a healthier gut lining. In a recent study, seniors who took sea moss daily saw a 37% improvement in joint mobility and a 29% drop in skin dryness within just 8 weeks. It also contains mucilage, a soothing fiber that lines your gut, reduces acid reflux, and feeds the good bacteria in your digestive system. To prepare it, rinse well, soak in water for 12-24 hours, then blend into a gel. You can stir it into smoothies, teas, or warm soups. Just don't boil it. Warm is best to preserve its nutrients. So here's the big picture. Not all seafood is your friend, especially after 60. Some like squid, imitation crab, scallops, and shrimp may quietly strain your joints, gut, and heart. They look harmless, but inside your body they may tell a different story. But you don't have to give up on seafood. You just have to get smarter. Sea cucumber, green-lipped mussels, oysters, and sea moss aren't trends. They're real science-backed solutions that help your body age with strength, clarity, and less pain. If this video gave you a new perspective, let us know. Have you ever tried sea moss or oysters? Noticed any difference after cutting out certain seafoods? Drop a comment. We read every single one. And if you want honest, practical health tips made for older adults, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to Vital 365. We're here for your journey every step of the way.